my audits. I'm here with Mrs. Troll.
Hello.
And Craig is right here. Hi, Craig. How's it going?
Good. Yourself?
Oh, very good. Oh, you're gonna have to put your mic a little bit lower.
A little lower?
Yeah.
Let's see. Does that make it any better?
Yeah, I guess that's cool. That's fine.
Because I don't really know how to do the whole lower thing. I can only just move it farther away.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. So thanks for taking some of your time for doing this interview. So I'm just gonna explain what will be the structure of the interview. So I have a list of questions for Craig. Then I also made a video, which, in my opinion, are CHN Thai's worst moments, but in your opinion, they might be your best moments. So we'll watch that together, and then we can look point by point at some of what happened. And then also, I want to keep at least half an hour for subscribers to come in and debate you and ask you questions and so on. So you say you have about an hour and a half for the interview?
That's right, yeah.
Okay, perfect. Sounds good. All right, so let's get started. So we're just going to ask you some regular questions just so we can get a better feel for what you do. So my first question is, what were you doing before auditing?
I was working at a factory called Brampton Brick, the brick factory that's been around Farmersburg for a long time. And what I would do is I'd drive a forklift, and I'd essentially just stack bricks by hand on the days that somebody else was driving the forklift. So manual labor.
Yeah, sounds like hard work. So I understand why you're looking for. Well, yeah, your mic is going a little bit jacked up there. If you want to take time to set it up, go ahead.
Well, I'm just thinking, like, you know me, I like to look good, and this damn light is coming in. It's, but it's all right. We'll stop messing with it. If I'm good now, it'll be that way for the rest of the thing.
Yeah, it's all good. You have half of your face is totally white, but it's all good.
I know, that's what I'm saying, but it is what it is, huh?
Yeah, it's all good. It's all good. So all right, so thanks for answering that. So yeah,
Here, there's somebody that asked the questions. They want to know if you got fired at your previous job.
Yeah, did you get fired or did you quit?
No, I quit. I was they were actually struggling for workers, and I was the only person damn near besides one other guy who would always show up for work. So it was really, I didn't want to have to leave. It was just the job. You'd wake up, you'd get there at 6 and leave at 2:30. So if I'm wanting to audit government buildings, which is what I was doing, I would have had to have. I only had about an hour to get anywhere, so I was constrained within about an hour's drive of wherever I was, and then I'd only have a half hour to do my auditing. So it was really by necessity that I left the job. I actually liked it, but you got to do what you got to do.
Gotcha. So now we want to ask you, like, what motivated you to start auditing? Financial or political
or clouds?
Or clouds? It could be. It's not a wrong answer.
Yeah.
Like, there's nothing wrong with trying to make a YouTube career out of it.
Well, what motivated me to start auditing was just literally watching James Freeman and thinking that maybe I could put I'm not going to say that I'm better at doing what I do than James Freeman. He doesn't even do what I do. He doesn't call himself an auditor, but I would like to... Oh, hold on. Apparently we're not having any sound on my end, so I've got to figure this out. But basically all that I would try to do is just try to what motivated me was James Freeman. Sorry, that's all that there was to that.
All right. Well, thanks for answering that. Let me introduce you, Professor Nick Volt. He's one of our good friends. So, how's it going, Nick?
Pretty good. Can you hear me?
Yeah, you're sounding. I don't know if my computer is too loud. Let us know, viewers. Is it too loud on Craig's side?
There and then it cut out?
No, I'm actually I'm on my laptop right now, so it's not loud at all.
Okay, good. Yeah, Craig, take your time if you have to fix the audio, because as I was telling Craig, he was worried that we would do a copyright strike on him for live streaming an interview where he's been invited. So that's not gonna happen. Like, we don't believe in that. We've been victim of false copyright strikes, so I don't want to screw over your channel. So don't worry about that.
While you're doing that, let me see if I can get a better camera.
Yeah, you're looking blurry today, Nick.
Are you still there?
Yeah, we're here. You hear us?
All right.
Hear us good?
Yeah, I can hear you. I just didn't hear anything for a while there.
Yeah, no worries. So, yeah. So, did you hear what I said? Yeah, like, don't worry about copyright strikes. We've been victim of false copyright strikes, and we don't want to fuck over anybody. So,
Okay, well that's great.
yeah. And even like I made a video, like I told you, like a compilation. So, I'm even gonna ask your permission to post it. Usually, I wouldn't, but this one doesn't have any commentary. So, I took 6 of your videos and put what is, in my opinion, the worst moments. So do I have your permission to post that?
Oh, here, I do have another
Yeah,
question.
go ahead.
I do have a question.
Yeah.
It looks like J. Carr is referring to Blue Bond, but
Yeah.
which everybody knows a lot of
Just tell me if they can
frauditors.
hear it,
Well,
just
we
go
like to
follow
call
the flow. They should
frauditors.
be able to hear us.
You guys like to call yourselves
Like here in the next
auditors.
few minutes, or give it a
Sure.
minute.
Do you have a criminal record? Because most, well, I won't say most, but yeah, a lot.
Yeah,
I
a
would
good
say
amount of
most
frauditors have a criminal
frauditors do
record.
have a criminal
Yeah, I was gonna get into that, but that's cool, J-Car, to jump the gun, no problem. So yeah, Craig, do you have a criminal record?
Yes, yeah. I mean, I had a criminal record after I started doing some work in the freedom movement, but I did acquire a criminal record for weed dealing and possession of a firearm.
Okay, gotcha. So
Yeah.
that was like, wait, so you're saying after doing in the freedom movement, but what does, I'm not too familiar why you would need a gun, or if you care to explain, I'm just not catching.
Yeah, no, sure. So I was running a podcast. It was called Hard Money with Craig, and I was doing that on Spotify. I was doing that. I think I did about 10 episodes, but I was doing that while I was still making money by weed dealing. So, and that was about economics. It was about basically how government activity impedes everybody's economic prosperity, which is
Right.
what got me involved in the freedom movement in the first place. I was realizing this was about around the time when everyone started talking about socialism in the government and started talking about inflation and taxes and whatnot. So I got involved with it. I started listening to guys like Ron Paul, Peter Schiff, and that encouraged me to get involved in economics, which was what my podcast was about basically shrinking government. And then I went and did about 2 months in jail for weed dealing, and when I was out, I got a job.
How much weed were you caught with?
I really don't remember how much weed I was caught with. Are you getting it on your end now?
I mean, just, I'm not saying, like, just roughly, like, ounces, pounds, like...
Do you have Windows? Is your computer Windows?
Are you able to hear me?
Yeah, I was caught with pounds.
Okay, gotcha. All right, yeah, that was a good question, J. Carr. So, now we're going to move into... I'll let you fix your audio. Let me know when you're ready, so we have your full attention.
Okay, yeah, we're good. We're good. We can hear me.
All right. Okay, perfect. All right. So, you recently said that, and here, Nick, this is when I'm going to ask you to jump in when we hear his explanation, is that you've said you wanted to abolish the police. So, can you explain what you mean by that? Like, are you thinking like the purge or something? Like what do you mean by abolish the police?
Well, I mean, I think a lot of people say it would be like the purge, right? That's what the whole thing is people say that anarchy would result in chaos. A lot of people even define anarchy as chaos, but anarchy is what I advocate for, which would be, I said the other day that government without police is like a disease without any symptoms, right? They can't do
Yeah,
any
I heard
harm if
that.
they don't have guys with guns running around shooting people or enforcing their laws. But ultimately, humans don't act off of, they don't act off of violent impulses. They act off of incentives, right? So what I advocate for is just a world free from government, and people are free to act on their own incentives, their own, goals and whatnot. I mean,
so
imagine
you're an anarchist, pretty much.
Yeah, I'm an anarchist.
Okay, I've never heard it so straight up. So I mean, I can appreciate that you're not trying to hide behind something the Constitution. You're an anarchist. Okay, all right. So
the reason I bring up the Constitution is because they expect us to play by all these ridiculous rules. And then when you bring up to them, like, hey,
society,
the government was formed under a constitution, you've got to follow these rules, they just brush them off and say, rules for thee, but not for me. Right. It is what it is.
I'm very surprised by your answer, but so you heard it here first, guys. So CH and Thai audits, anarchist. All right, awesome. Here, I would have what's in your, like, what kind of auditors that you would not collaborate with whatsoever? Name me a few if you don't mind.
Right now, the only auditor that would really be on my no-go list would be Chile. It would be Delete Laws.
Delete Laws?
But,
yeah,
that'd be the only one. And I see you keep up with him. The whole Frauditor is paranoid. People are following him and whatnot.
I see you're a fan. I appreciate that. I hope you subscribe.
Well, look, I'll be honest to you. I'm just showing your YouTube feed so people can see that I'm not subscribed. But I did go and check out your channel, and I saw your video on me. But right now, Delete Law is the only one, just because I said nothing insulting about him. And then he goes around saying, well, the guy insulted me, so I'm not going to debate him.
He's sensitive.
Everybody's insulted him. Everybody.
Yeah, he's the alpha male.
He's going to sue you now.
Yeah, he's a sensitive. So that's a good segue, because I wanted to show you something.
Okay, but also I want to know which frauditor does he find he is most similar to, like his...
Or who is he likely to collab with?
Yeah.
Yeah, good question.
As far as who am I most likely to collab with, I really don't know. I really don't care to collab with anybody. I've got Ty, that's my buddy. He goes around and does this stuff with me, so I don't know. I mean, I really don't care to collab with anybody. I'm not out there begging people to collab with me, so if people want to collab, though, I almost never turn them down.
All right, awesome. Thanks for the answer. So here we have $20 from Jay Carr. Thank you for the support.
Come on, Luna, you can do better than that, man.
All right, so I have lived in a country with no real police and dictator leader. If you see it live, would that change him? I have seen it. His type wouldn't last a day. I'm not sure which country you're referring to, but yeah, lawlessness could be scary. I mean, I understand his point. You're saying that now, but live a day.
Actually lived in that.
Yeah, to actually live in it. And for your point, you're saying people would be able to do what they want, but what about the defenseless people, the older ladies, the young kids?
In this day and age, nobody's defenseless. But I mean, I see that they say with no real police and dictator leader. I mean, what is this? Is there just one guy who's godlike, who just goes around and says, this is how it is, and magically it is that way? He's got to have police to carry out his orders. And it's just logic, right? Maybe they don't call them police, but that's what it is.
Orders. It doesn't necessarily need to be police. He needs to have his own army, soldiers, so on.
All right.
Right, that's what police are.
Yeah.
Well, if I can interject here, you said something interesting. I saw it on your video as well, where you said that government without police is like a disease with no symptoms, something to that effect.
Yeah.
Is that correct? Yeah. Well, I mean, when I was watching that video, I think you make this extension that the only arm of government is police. I mean, police exist and while I agree that, especially in the 20th and 21st century, police have greatly expanded their role. But as far as all of the other reasons why we have a government, it's not just because of police. For example, regulation. Who's going to regulate? I know a lot of people, they say less regulation is good, but that's a very short-sighted view.
Craig is advertising for the Wild West, anarchy, no regulations. But
well, even in the Wild West, they had police.
Yeah.
But what I'm saying is, if there was no regulation, the market would regulate itself. Imagine if somebody went around selling snake oil salesman, or he was a snake oil salesman in a town. You'd surely think after the first time you buy it from him, you wouldn't buy it from him again, right?
Well, no,
or would you need the government to tell you, don't buy from him, he sold you something fake last time? This is ridiculous. We're grown men. Nobody in the government is smarter than us. They're just men as well. We can decide what we want to buy just fine by ourselves. We don't need our overlords in Washington telling us what's allowable and what isn't.
Do you know how to communicate while flying an airplane?
Do I know how to communicate while flying an airplane?
Yes.
I don't fly airplanes. It's not my division of labor.
Well, you would agree that, our modern society is based on modern transportation. So, would we not have airplanes anymore?
Oh, why wouldn't we?
Okay. Do you know how to communicate when you fly an airplane?
Why would I need to?
In order to get to your destination.
I just pay somebody who does, just like I do now.
Would you hope that they know how to communicate?
If they didn't, I wouldn't hire them.
How would you know that?
Because I'd go off of reviews on Google.
How would you know that? Maybe
because we've got Google.
All right, guys.
Let me
interject here because I have a lot.
And to answer your other question about snake oil salesmen, no, it is because of all of that we now have regulation. For example, we were selling radioactive cures at the turn of the century.
That's not true at all. That's not true at all, man. We have regulations that create government kept monopolies. That's what regulations are. That's why the people that are lobbying in Washington are the advocates of these big corporations, right? Like Walmart, like the railroad corporations were responsible for so many regulations when it comes to transportation.
That's a talking point. You got to remember all of these systems which exist right now due to, let's say, government regulation. For example, the fact that you can have this conversation right now on the internet. If it was
we could have this without government regulation. That makes no sense. It'd probably be cheaper. I pay $20 a month for StreamYard. How much of that goes to taxes?
Well, no. Without government investment, the internet would not have developed this way. In fact, neither.
Oh, that's ridiculous. That's ridiculous. Of course it would have.
Why did we develop the internet?
I got no clue, but it certainly would have developed.
It was for schools, I believe. But give me a second.
Why did we develop the internet? You say that it would just develop on its own, but there's got to be.
Of course it would. Why wouldn't it?
All right, Nick.
Craig,
just a second. Let me just read the super chat. I just want to make sure we have time to cover everything. So thank you, Royal N76, for the 2 quids from across the pond. Not PayPal Patty or Glenda. So hopefully you wouldn't associate with them, right? You know who they are?
I got no clue who they are.
Okay, PayPal Patty is a little man-child from Texas that goes with News Now Patrick. He gets so offended when people talk bad about him. He filed about 100 false copyright strikes. And Glenda actually brings me to the new point. We compared you in our video to the new Glenn serials. So are you familiar with that frauditor?
I have no clue who that guy is.
Okay, all right. Well, you've seen our video on you. It just points out, like, he has the craziest attitude, smart ass, and I see a lot in common with you guys. So that's why I compared you to him. He's a disgusting person. I don't think you're as bad as him, but he's disgusting. But anyway, regardless.
Perhaps
just
I
a second.
can phrase the question differently, because I don't want to seem like an attack in your position. Maybe you could clarify your position. So you didn't mention the Constitution, which obviously is a form of government, which comes back from centuries of government. But
it's a paper that states the do's and the don'ts of government.
The land which we live in now, let's just call it the United States, just for simplicity's sake. But what would it look like now if we were living in a society with anarchy? What would be the same? What would be different?
That's okay.
What would be the same and what would be different? All right. Well, I like that. So, what would be the same is we would have all the same problems. People would get murdered. People would get robbed. People would get assaulted. Right. The only differences would be that, one, everyone would understand that before going out into public, they are responsible for their own safety. They are responsible for their own persons, right? Another thing that would be different is when corporations fail, they would be responsible for their own reckless spending, right? No bailouts from us, right? And another thing would be that everyone would have all of the money that they've earned instead of breaking off their cut to government, who can't stop any of the.
I mean, they would get robbed
actions
on a daily, so they wouldn't keep.
Why would they get robbed?
Because the people that aren't able to defend themselves, that they would just get robbed. Like, if there's no police that's going to stop the crime or arrest the people, they're just going to get robbed all the time.
How many times have you seen a cop show up and stop a robbery?
Well, they just by being there, it's a deterrent.
Exactly.
It's a huge deterrent.
No, that's nonsense. People still get robbed, and the police are never there to stop it. They're there to take the report and then go after the guy who robbed him, but they're never there to stop it.
But if that's still a
completely
deterrent,
disagree.
that is still a deterrent. That if you rob someone, you're on camera, you might get arrested at a later time. If there weren't any. So, are you saying like there wouldn't be any laws? So not only wouldn't there be any police, but there wouldn't be any laws because there's no one to enforce them, right? So,
well, there would certainly be a code of conduct that you'd follow. Or I mean, like for example, if you go into somebody's house, right? A lot of people don't own guns because they think the police should do that. They think the police should take care of them.
yeah.
The ramifications would be an absolute. The biggest deterrent from crime is knowing that if you go onto somebody's private property without permission, you're liable to get shot.
Right.
That is much more scary than getting thrown in a cage for a year. I promise you that.
Okay.
I'll tell you. For example, when I was weed dealing, I was robbed, right? Or sorry, somebody tried to rob me.
I want to hear more about this position because, if I can be perfectly frank, and I've heard this a lot from anarchists. I mean, this is why it's a classic philosophy to study, and why it has continuously failed over and over and over again.
Wait, what's failed? What's failed?
This idea of no government and absolute what we call total anarchy.
When has it been tried? When has it failed? Give me one example.
It hasn't been tried because it cannot work. Because
no, that's fine. You don't know that it can't work because it's never been tried. That's like a scientist saying that something's going to explode, but they've never actually seen it happen.
Well, that's ridiculous as well. I mean, I can tell you why.
How is that ridiculous?
Have you ever seen a nuclear weapon explode?
Yeah, I have. So I know that nuclear weapons can explode, but that's like a scientist saying
hold on.
that.
I've never seen a nuclear weapon explode.
Well, I've seen videos of it. Have you ever seen a chemical bomb explode?
Yes.
Yeah. Have you ever seen
What if I did?
glucose and potassium nitrate mixed together? What happens then?
Yes.
What happens?
Potassium with what?
Potassium nitrate and glucose. You don't even know what I'm talking about, but you know what
No, I
happens?
don't know, actually. I don't know that one.
Yeah.
It's been a while
Okay,
since
well,
I've
I'll just tell you, man, it stays...
Let me finish. Your claim is that
Okay.
because I haven't seen something with my eyes, it doesn't exist. That in itself is a fallacy, as if our eyes are the only senses that we have to use to observe the world. I mean, for example, we can design, not to go back to aircraft, but I'm going on this point because, it represents what we call a modern society, which is built on science and technology. I mean, all of these nice things we have come from the development of doing experiments and then making predictive models based on those experiments. So my point is, humans, by definition, I mean, what makes us great is our evolution. We were given with this gigantic brain. We adapt our environment to serve us. Okay, that's something which no other species on this planet does. It also gives us the ability to, and I'm not speaking this in the religious terms, but we're the only species who can actually do stuff which is against our let's say our own nature. Like, for example, my cat can't starve itself. My cat doesn't go around murdering other cats because it's just sort of ingrained as a higher functioning mammal. That
I mean, you don't know that. You don't know what he does at night. But
yeah, and look,
Just a
I'd like to
second.
say, man, I agree with your points, all right? But I'd like to make the point as well. You're right. When humans evolve, they figure out better forms of government.
Your statement is
Okay,
still
yeah.
better forms of government. Okay, that's different than anarchy. Are you trying? I'm sorry.
Right, okay.
I'm sorry, I don't have.
Yeah, and so the point that I'm trying to make is, you're right? The best government in the world when it was formed was this American government. This was the newest, everybody says, the Constitution, it's the greatest document since anything.
Yes,
it's the best government. This was formed as the smallest government in the world. There was no other government that was smaller than this. Our government had the least power of any other government in the world.
No, you're wrong. There's one.
All right, sorry guys, not to cut you off.
Republic.
Not to cut you off. Sorry, Nick, but we gotta move along the interview because we have super chats to read, and we gotta move along the interview. Like I told you, there's a lot of stuff I want to cover in specifics, not just ideology, but actual audits you did and where you can defend your points. And if you have more time, that's great. We can chit chat all day, but if you just have an hour and a half, we need to keep it moving along. So we have $5 from the Rabbit.
Computer, bro, if you want to plug in Chrome
thank
over
you,
there,
the Rabbit, for the $5, and thank you for the
share the chat
donation.
and turn it all the way up and connect it to your headphones. That would work a lot better. If you could do that, it takes a while. It's going to take a while to set it up.
So lobbyists are looking for I can't even pronounce that, man. I'm too tired. Deregulations, not more regulations. The start of the internet was developed by the military for communication and info. Thank you, the Rabbit, for the donation. That's interesting. I thought it was developed for the universities, but I think that's Facebook, so that's where I was mistaken. All right, so what I want to ask you, sorry, I got so derailed here.
That's all I need to hear.
Yeah, about Chile. So what happened with Chile? How did it start? I assume he was offering you help when Ty was arrested, right? Is that what happened?
No, I was arrested.
Well, you were arrested?
Yeah, it was me. But what happened was he said he wanted to help me file a lawsuit. Right? Sorry?
Ty also got arrested recently, right?
No,
during the court. Okay, my bad. So it was you that was arrested in the courtroom, right? Just a few days ago, you had a live stream. Ty is out. Ty got arrested. No?
No, CH is out.
Oh, my bad. Okay, my bad.
No, you're fine, man.
Okay. So yeah, so Chile offered you help, legal advice, or?
Well, he said he wanted to help me. He basically said he wanted to be like the lawyer who took the case.
Oh, what a joke! Oh boy. Okay, and so you declined his help, and that's why he's mad or something. Just let us know what happened, because we always want to keep on.
I just never contacted him about it, you know.
Okay, and then he got offended.
No, he didn't get offended by that. He got offended when I called him a statist who wants to expand more government.
Oh, gotcha. All right, I want to take this time to just show you a clip, because you're saying, like, all we do is call people, like, idiots or whatever. And stuff
Can
like
you do that, man?
All right, I guess
it needs to be plugged in.
wait.
But there's a charger somewhere around here, bro. You can roam the house and find it if you want.
And really quick, Frauditor Troll, while you're pulling that up.
Yeah.
CH, quick question, but please don't answer it now. Please don't. I want you to think about it, and then maybe
I don't know if he can hear you.
No, I can hear.
Oh, okay.
Lead paint. Think about lead paint prior to regulation about it, and how would you or your system of, I guess, lack thereof government handle a situation very similar to what happened with lead paint in our environment? Don't answer now, please. Think about it.
Yeah. Let's we can get back to that at the end. So
Remember the question, because I know the answer. You just got to ask me again.
All right, we'll get back to that after. Thank you, Mark Swint, for the $10 donation.
I just want to say thank you, Keith.
Yeah, thank you. We really appreciate your support for the super sticker. Thank you. So I wanted to show this clip. It's from your live stream, and because you're saying like, all we do is we speed up their voice and everything. So here, let's just play it. And here goes. 1 second. It's your thing. But all right. So Craig is listening. So let me grab the video, which is, in my opinion, CH and Ty's worst moments. So let's pull it up. I'm going to be posting this video tomorrow, guys, and it's pretty interesting. Our first video with no commentary whatsoever. So, but yeah, it's just straight up the worst moments, in my opinion.
It was locked.
all dark back there.
Hey, back up here, guys.
What's going on?
Back up here. This is private police stuff down here. This is not accessible to the public. Come on up.
It was accessible to me.
Come on up.
You want to use some manners, bud?
No, I'm asking you right now to come on up here, please.
You were asking pretty aggressively. I just told you that there needs to be a sign or it needs to be locked.
Come on up here.
And here's the point with the sign, Craig. I don't know if you hear me. I'm sure you recognize what this is going on. When you just one look at this, you can tell this has nothing to do with the public. Like, what is there to look there?
Yeah.
Like, would you go down there, that creepy ass
Absolutely
basement?
not. Absolutely not.
like that sounds like somewhere you're gonna get raped or something. Like,
Murdered.
or murdered, even if it's a police station. Like, I don't see why. What would be the point in staying there? But just to put it back, it's just.
So you're not gonna move?
Not unless I'm threatened.
I gotta finish my water first, man.
My boy's drinking his water, brother. You gotta give him a second.
Good guns, my water. Filtered and everything.
That's a good
I told you
question.
guys
What
I
was the
gave you
gate
warning. It's gotta
closed?
be
Let's
signed.
try it. Let's try to put it at the beginning. We're not able to see for that.
There's gotta be a lock.
All right, let me. Yeah, so you're good, Craig. Everything's good.
Yeah, we're all good.
All right. So yeah, so if you were hearing, like, yeah, what's the point in auditing this creepy
This
ass
basement.
Like, why? Like,
What are you planning to find in there?
yeah.
I was just trying to see my building.
It's not your building.
It isn't.
No. It's not. No one taxpayer owns any one building.
No, we all own it, right?
Yes, and then we delegate authority to have those administrator it. It's not your building anymore than it's my building. I mean, what if
I
I,
didn't
say that's
delegate.
my... Well, what if I say that's my building, you can't come down there?
That's fine. I'll
true.
just be like, it's my building and I can go down there.
Okay, then we can stay there all day arguing about
Exactly.
that. You see?
Yeah.
This is why you can't have these simplistic ideas of how people interact with each other.
That's why we can't have public buildings, because it's all too confusing.
Yeah, we can't have public buildings, so where would we have courthouses?
Yeah.
I don't even
Just
care
a
for
question. Just a question. It seems like you're like everybody has their frauditing style. Like Auditing America, it's like getting kicked out of courthouses. Then you have Glenn Serio is like just grossing everybody out around him. And then there are some people that specialize in post offices. But you seem to be specializing in going where you're not supposed to, trying to find the places that don't have signs, and just
Yeah,
going in like
pushing
weird
the
ass places that obviously the public has no business there. Like what were you expecting? It was to prove a point, right? Like when you went down there, like obviously.
I would
It's
agree
not-
with
Sorry.
that assessment. I would agree.
So you're saying that it was obviously to prove a point?
Yeah. I'm asking.
No, I really just like if you watch the video, when I go down the stairs, I go down there and I see that I can't see anything, and I start turning around,
Right.
and then somebody starts telling me what to do in our building. Right? We've established it's our building.
No, we haven't
Right.
established that. No. Don't jump. That's not fair. We haven't established that. But we do agree that you believe it's your building.
Yeah, exactly. He believes it's his building. That's fine. We can go from there. And like, I just to be fair to everybody, you did get your way. They left you alone, but it was quite a standoff, quite a shit show, to be honest.
Yeah,
But,
yeah. I mean, like, look, this is the deal, man. If I don't consent to taxation, it gets taken whether or not I like it to. Because if I don't give it to them, I get thrown in a cage against my will. Right? So while they are taking my money for these buildings, and it's a public building, my belief is that every member of the public should have the same access unless it is reasonably forbidden or expressly forbidden, whatever term you want to use. And
Got
in
it.
that case, they're going to throw me in a cage if I go back there. Still think I should be able to go back there. I just won't do because I'll be thrown in a cage otherwise.
That's actually a good point.
So wait, hold on. So you're saying like, oh, you didn't agree to pay the taxes, like you
Okay, but also my question is, now that you were quote unquote unemployed, are you still paying
These taxes? Are you gonna
taxes?
pay YouTube taxes? Are you gonna pay taxes out of your YouTube money?
I mean, you said I'm unemployed?
Yeah, you say you quit your job a few weeks back or so. So that
What?
would make you unemployed.
I don't know. My mom doesn't work for anybody, but she's self-employed.
Okay, but she would be a registered business. Are you?
Well, I had to register with YouTube, the partner program, to get money. I'm sure you two do the same thing, right?
So you're a content creator, right?
Yeah.
That's your
Content
business.
creator.
Yeah, I'm a self-employed content creator, right?
Gotcha.
Now, you said something reasonable. You know, you can restrict certain buildings, but it has to be reasonable. Define reasonable for me.
Look, my definition of reasonable isn't anything, right? Like, I'm not a steward of these buildings. It's whatever the guys with the guns and the handcuffs and whoever has the cages, it's their decision. Like, what I think is reasonable doesn't matter.
All right, let me just go back to my questions before my lovely wife interrupted me. So you're saying you're not agreeing to paying the taxes, and you didn't like Chili says, "Oh, I didn't agree to this social contract." You could say, but you don't have to live in America. You can go somewhere else. But if you want to live here, you have to pay the taxes and obey and live by the rules.
I always love that line. This is the best thing ever. You lead me right into one of my favorite points. In the 1750s and 1760s, everybody wanted to come to America. All the way up until 1913, when we started to have an income tax, everybody wanted to come to America to start a business and be the basically the arbiter of their own destiny. But now that, we are just like everyone else was at the beginning, there's nowhere left to run. Like, I'd be just as well off in America as I am everywhere else. The only difference is this is my country. I was born here. I'm a patriot. And so because I believe it's wrong, I'm going to stay here and I'm going to exert all of my energy trying to change what we have right now. Because I love my country and I love everybody in it. Whether you two like it or not, I love your rights. I love your freedoms. And I want you all to be free from tyranny as well, whether you recognize it as tyranny or not.
No, that's
we
a
don't
classic
recognize that.
illogical argument. And let me tell you how.
Nick, hold on.
First of all, you set up a straw man, which is not true.
Nick,
Number two, you can't call yourself a patriot if you're advocating the end of our
I'd boot him.
Nick Volt. No, I don't use the mute button here. I don't mute. Let me just read the super chat, then you can rebuttal him. Just hold on, man. Okay, so J Carr for $10. Thank you very much for the support. Really appreciate the support. Oh yeah, I programmed that into my piano, by the way.
I really like that.
Yeah. I have a few. I have a few lines programmed into my piano now. So I think it's a great addition.
And sorry, Frauditor, I can't see the screen, so I don't know when the super chats go up. I'm
sorry.
I didn't mean to.
It's all good, man. I'm not going to mute you, but let me read this. Hold on. Yeah, using his theory, anyone can shoot him in that building just like his home. If I own it, why not? Great point, J Carr. Really appreciate that point. Thank you for the support. Care to answer that, Craig?
Well, I don't know if he's interpreting my theory correctly, because in public property it would be like look, all of the principles of my property apply, right? Like I can't have my movement restricted on my own property, right? Just like I can't restrict your movement on your own property. So if we're both in the same public property, then we would both have to respect each other's freedom to move. But saying that somebody could come into my property and shoot me is just as ridiculous as me saying I could come into your property and shoot you. It's the same rules as anything else, right? It's our home, right? No, if it's my home and it's your home, it's not like anybody could come up and shoot me in this building because he owns it, because I also own it. It'd be like coming up into my house and shooting me.
All right, well, thanks for answering that. Go ahead, Nick. I don't want to block your rebuttal any longer.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to point out, I mean, it was such a... I mean, there's so much to unpack there, and so I'll try to keep it as simple, because I've had these arguments with these sort of people before. You try to reduce it...
What sort of people?
Well, who think they're well-versed in logical fallacies. So let's unpack a couple of stuff here. So
Yes,
it is
please.
true that in 1913 we did start imposing an income tax. That's true. It is not true that companies stopped and people stopped immigrating to the United States in 1913. So right away,
I never said that.
You said that prior to 1913, everybody wanted to come here. We obviously know there was a post-boom after World War I, even after World War II. You know, my parents didn't come to the United States till the 70s, okay? Everybody does want to come here. And, of course, they came here because, yeah, they got to pay taxes, more taxes than they paid at home, but there's better opportunity here. Number two, this whole idea that you could be an anarchist and a patriot at the same time does not make any sense, because you say you were born here. So what does that mean, you were born here? Now, the land of the United States is defined by us, the people, and by our, sovereignty, and we say, yeah, this is our nation. Number two, we're patriotic.
What are you, some sort of a sovereign?
Because we are patriotic, it's because we believe in the ideals and the values of this nation. So you cannot advocate that you're here to do something to fight against tyranny when your ultimate objective is to undo the Constitution of the United States. That makes you a traitor. And so the question is still valid.
No,
Go
absolutely
else.
not. Absolutely not. The Constitution of the United States was a tyranny. It was imposed because Alexander Hamilton lobbied for it for 10 years because he didn't think that the Articles of Confederation gave the government enough power. Now, people do immigrate here. They immigrate here today, but they don't immigrate here because there's more opportunity. They immigrate here because there's more government programs available for them. So you've got it all backwards. We live in a socialist state. People immigrate here because they want welfare. They want Social Security. They want food stamps. They don't want freedom. They want free stuff. They don't want freedom. You've got that all backwards, man.
Okay, to be fair, and I know I suffer from the same problem. I like to, raise my voice when somebody hasn't even finished their point. So I totally get it, man. Don't worry about it. But again, your argument style again is using this very simple logical fallacy. It's quite a pedestrian way of argument. I mean, I hear it on right-wing radio all the time. And of course, it's a really good if you do this long drawn-out argument. We forget what the initial point was. First of all, my parents did not immigrate here because they wanted socialism and wanted government handouts. It was quite the opposite. Also, this idea that Alexander Hamilton thought the government couldn't do enough. That's not entirely true. I know what you're saying.
That's absolutely true. You probably haven't read your Hamilton yet. I've got the Federalist Papers out in my car. I read them when I'm bored.
Yeah, all of the frauditors have the Federalist. So what did Hamilton say exactly? Why did he think the federal government didn't have enough power? What was the federal government unable to do?
Because they couldn't impose taxes on the individuals of the states. They had to ask the states to pass taxes.
Why did they want to do that? Why did they want to do that? Why did the government feel like they needed to pass taxes?
Because the reason that every government wants. They want more power. They want more control. What else do you want me to say?
Incorrect.
I see. So you know their reasons. Okay, I forgot you were in their head and all, and you know their motives.
Well, no,
okay.
I've studied this. I've also read the Federalist Papers and know quite a bit about the subject. And, I do consider myself a Federalist, and I guess in your terms a statist, which is, a relatively new term. I mean, I know when it started, but only in, the 20th century did it become sort of this pejorative term. But partly because, the United States government or the federal government, or I guess the executive, was in charge of doing a lot of things to maintain the 13 colonies. It was responsible for the defense of them. It was responsible for quite a few things. And they knew, and Alexander Hamilton himself realized that unless we can find a way that, look, these states can act independently, but we still need a federal government to oversee them. And
so why can't the states act independently?
Because it's bad for commerce. The nation.
No, it's not.
The nation.
The most ridiculous thing. Why is it bad for commerce?
Well, you're using the same argument which the South used when it came to slavery. I mean, why can't the states decide?
So now you're just gonna say I'm a racist, huh?
No, I'm not.
Everything else has failed.
That's
so
not what I said.
now I just want slavery.
No, that is not what I said. I said
okay.
That was.
Hey man, look, I run into it all the time when I debate liberals, right? But look, man, like the reality is that when there's less restrictions, commerce is much better. When there's less restrictions, commerce is much better. The federal government can't make anything more free. They can only make things more restricted. Unless, of course,
guys,
let me counter that. Capitalism makes commerce more free. Capitalism does. Whereas communism and socialism, which is almost borderline what you're advocating, does not foster innovation.
No, that's the most asinine thing I've ever heard. That anarchy is somewhat related to socialism or communism. How the hell do you expect communism or socialist states to work without a government? So, and also, capitalism is what I advocate. Anarchy is capitalism. Capitalism doesn't allow for more freedom. Capitalism is freedom. Capitalism is economic freedom. It's capitalism with no regulations.
Okay,
that's what capitalism is.
What ensures the freedom of the free market?
No government. That's what ensures it.
How so?
Sorry to interject, guys, but I want to ask you, Craig, do you have more time than just till 7:30? Because I still have quite a bit.
It's not up to me. I've got we've got. I just had somebody over that was doing some work for me, and I've got to give them a ride home. So it's up to. I mean, can you stay longer?
I don't mean.
If he can, he can stay longer. So let's say right now, let's go. Let's say 8 o'clock is the time limit, and then we'll ask him again at that point. All right.
I don't mean to dwell on this point, but I just based on the video which I saw last time, especially when you were talking about Chile, about how you clearly stated, and even in the beginning, that you're an anarchist. Before we can even get into this whole frauditing thing and this and that, we have to first acknowledge that this idea of anarchism does not work. It is illogical, and you're essentially advocating for the overthrow of everything which we have now. I mean, everything post-Renaissance would be out of the window. We would no longer be living in this 21st century world with all of this technology, living for all of these years. Are they problems? Yes. So don't try to hold that against me. I absolutely agree they're problems. But the solution to that problem is not killing the patient to cure the disease, which is exactly
what the disease is government. If you can kill the disease, you can cure the patient. But just the thing is, man, before the Renaissance there was no government? I mean, that makes no sense. All right, you're wrong there. And also, you claiming that anarchy doesn't work? Where do you get that idea? Where does anarchy not work? Where have you seen it fail? Where have I seen governments fail? Every single time they've been instituted, they've failed. Every single time.
Saudi Arabia.
Okay.
Saudi Arabia has been under dictatorships for years.
For about 100 years.
Never does. But anyways, guys,
and much long before that, they had other forms of government. There's been no anarchy tried in this world.
It was anarchy. It was.
Did you see anarchy succeed?
Yes, it was.
What?
In what country did you see anarchy succeed?
Yeah, what country did you live in?
We haven't. Right? We've just seen governments fail and fail and fail and fail. We've never seen anarchy tried.
Well, I don't think we'll ever get to try that. But Nick, just hold.
Last comment. I just got to point out falsifiable claims again, because it seems it's going to be a recurring theme. You see, the thing with CH here is he's once again doing what Rogue Nation did. He creates an argument which cannot be falsified. No matter what you say, there's always, well, no, it's because we haven't tried it, or we haven't done this, or we haven't done this. In order to make it a real argument, you have to say, this will not work because of this, prove me wrong. If I can show you where it doesn't work, like if you could show me where
it's never been tried
work,
and it will never be tried.
That means it's an unfalsifiable argument,
in my opinion,
which makes it
But anyways, Nick,
no,
that doesn't make it illogical. It just means that it's never been tested. You're totally, just like every leftist, you're getting the word logical totally mixed up with some other word. Logical means that it's consistent. If logic applies to every situation, that logic is true. If it doesn't apply to every situation, that logic is faulty. That's what logic is. Logic isn't something that's never been tried. That makes no sense.
Well. Anyways, we understand your point, and here it's not like, it's not about.
I don't understand his point. So
I understand his point. I don't believe in it. I don't agree with it. But he's an anarchist. Like, he wants the purge. So there's nothing else to say. He wants the purge. Everybody come out with your shotgun, but instead of one time a year, it's 365. So he wants the purge. What is there to say? Let's move on. Like, come on, let's carry on to this video.
I have a feeling people would stop going outside with their shotguns if they were consistently getting their heads blown off.
Yeah, well, there'll be more reason to go outside with your shotgun.
Anyways, like, hopefully we never get to see Craig's world, because Craig's world is a messed up place, in my opinion.
He watches too many movies or something.
Anyways, that's the beauty about freedom of speech. You're allowed to think whatever you want, man. You want to live in the purge? Luckily, we don't. But that's
Yeah,
all
and
good.
same for you guys. If you guys want to keep believing that these wise people in Washington and Indianapolis or wherever it is that you live, whatever state, if you want to think that they're making the best rules and they're making the best decisions for your life, continue believing that and just see what happens in the next 20 years when you guys are living through the next greatest depression that there ever has been in the United States.
Jay Carr said you should Google anarchy in history and have an idea of what you're talking about.
It's never happened. It's never happened. The first civilization was Mesopotamia. They were socialist. It's never happened.
All right. Well, anyways, let's carry on. So the rabbit for $5. Thank you very much for the donation. So we really appreciate the support. Anarchy forms a power vacuum that someone will try to force. They will try to force their will to take control, forming a government, and people are followers by nature. Yeah, there's gonna be gang lords.
Absolutely.
It's gonna be the most hardcore will be at the top, and they will shit.
There's
on the
gang
bottom.
wars right now. Are you kidding me? You've got this biggest gang in history going around putting people in cages, shooting them when they run away, assaulting them when they're not doing what they say. We've got gang wars on a scale that nobody's ever seen before in this world.
Yeah, you really got me there. For a second, I was like, "Oh shit, what the fuck is that gang?" But then I realized what you're talking about. You're talking about the government. So, yeah, gotcha.
Well, if you realize it, there must be a little smidgen of truth to it, eh?
No, I realize it because I watch Frauditor videos like more than I care to. Just a side note, my wife today, we were editing a video on Denver Metro asshole. Sorry, Jane, I can't turn his mic down. StreamYard doesn't do that.
If you could turn it down, like I've got it set on another table. I've got it set on a whole other table.
can't.
That thing just picks up sound like crazy.
It doesn't do that unless. Wait, hold on. Oh yeah, it can do that. Okay, there we go. All right, this should be better. Say something. That's it.
Hello.
Yeah. Okay, I'll put it a little bit more up there.
Yeah.
Hold on. Okay. Thanks, James Blonde man. Where were you? Thank you. All right. Yeah, my wife was telling me that today. She was like, we were editing a video on Denver Metro. You know Denver Metro Audits? You're familiar with him?
I mean, I know the channel. I think the guy's got some good ideas.
Yeah, 222-333-444. Some great ideas. The guy is his brain is fried. I'm just letting you know. And she was like, "How do you stay there for multiple hours at a time and listening to these idiots?" And that's why I know your spiel very well. Anyways, Sinful Josh for $2. Thank you so much for the support.
Thank you, Sinful John.
Yeah, capitalism does not create freedom. Tesla's proof.
No, capitalism is freedom. So whatever. All right. Go on though. What are you? I mean, is this video longer here?
Yeah, it is longer. There's a lot of your points I want to counter. The smoking auditor. Lol, I what in on the stream's yard so bad. You might be smoking too much, the smoking auditor. I'm not. If you want in on the stream, I'll put a link in about half an hour where you can come in. And I saw you already got the chance to debate Craig, so that would be but you can if you want. So thank you very much for a $2 donation, smoking auditor.
Thank you.
See, I love when the auditors support us also. So, anyways, this was the first event. So you got your way. They left you alone, and you crawled out of the basement. Like you said, you were on your way out, so whatever. Here's the second event. Yeah, this was the duel you had. So this guy is an attorney, right? Or is he a judge?
That is Judge Bailey, I believe.
Okay.
Could be wrong.
So let's hear the...
No, that's not true, sir.
Should we bring up the law for you, man?
No. You don't need to bring up the law.
Don't need to bring up the law.
Is that high breathing like that, or
Yeah,
something
it's
else on
it's
the mic?
Thai breathing.
Oh my gosh.
Right here. 2.17 of the judicial code.
Yeah, that's
The one that we no cell
Yeah.
phones, electronic recording equipment, or cellular devices are permitted on the third floor of the court.
Yeah.
And here's the thing with the sign. So when one thing that we see a lot with not just you but many other auditors is you guys want to see signs, but when the signs are there, it's not good enough for you.
Exactly.
So care to explain?
Oh, and it's a lawful sign. It's completely fine.
So you're saying this sign was unlawful?
Yeah, it doesn't. It shows one part of the IC code, and it doesn't show another part.
Gotcha. So,
Yep.
so what part are you referring to? So, what was missing there that would have made you satisfied, and have you stop recording?
Okay, so I think the sign just said no. I think it says like no recording or no recording devices on the floor. So the rule 2.17 that the sign quotes, it says a judge shall restrict recording and audio recording devices in the courtroom and in the areas immediately adjacent to the courtroom while the court is in session or while it is in recess between sessions. So basically it just shows, that it just shows only the part that they want. Like they don't want any recording going on at any point in time ever. Like and it says on the 3rd floor. As you can see, there's this little corridor here in between the lobby and the courtroom. This is the area immediately adjacent to the courtroom. The room to the right is not included in that rule. So they're just kind of saying like this is how we want it and this is how it's going to be. So
yeah,
but it's not.
But you understand why like cameras and recordings should be limited.
Sure, I understand why.
Like there's victims that are coming out. People, I'm not a lawyer. I don't know everything about this, obviously, but maybe people under witness protection.
Yeah.
And
what?
then
No, I was talking about the victims that were dragged into the courtroom.
Oh, you're talking about the perpetrators. Is that what you're referring to?
Well, I mean, 70% of the people in our prison system are in there for victimless crimes. So, yeah, I mean, the only victim there is them. They've been dragged into a courtroom.
Gotcha. I get it.
So they don't want us to see what they do to the victims.
Do you have a citation?
Whoa.
Oh, there are 2 of me.
Yeah,
there you go.
You're a duplicate.
A citation. Seriously, I'm serious question, so I can look it up. I'm not just giving you.
I have a citation?
Yeah, you said 70% of people in jails. Why do I hear myself?
I don't know.
Well,
your thing's all cracked up.
Maybe you've got YouTube opened.
Yeah, but so yeah. But what I mean is, like, let's say there was a real victim. So let's say a woman was attacked by some maniac. Just a hypothetical situation. The maniac is on there for trial, and then the victim, the real victim, is like, she doesn't want to be recorded. She doesn't want to be part of this nonsense.
Exactly.
So like she would have kind of her right for privacy when testifying, doesn't want to be recorded. And then also
No, absolutely not. When you go out in public and you accuse somebody publicly, you don't have a right to be confidential about that at all.
Well, I mean, sometimes
there's nowhere in the Constitution that says that. It actually says that you have a right to publicly face your accuser. So it's nonsense. Nobody has a right to privacy while in public.
All right, and then also another reason why it would be, like, for example, when lawyers talk to their clients, if it's like a long conversation, they're going to request a room or something. But if it's just like a short conversation, they might talk in the hallways and stuff like that, and that's why they're under the privilege of lawyer-client privilege. That's why cameras might not have the best place there.
Yeah, that's why they've got the privilege to go into a room.
All right. Well, I just wanted to explain. Sorry, man. Why
it's not. I mean, I get that maybe that's good enough. Like, you understand why they don't want cameras, but there's other reasons than that, man. And those reasons aren't good enough. Those can be solved by a quick 1-second thought, and then act on the thought, and it can be sorted out without restricting people's rights.
Yeah, the victimless crimes. I think he's referring to like the criminals that are getting, arrested. That's the victims. Yeah, that's the victims. Yeah. So the Rabbit, thank you very much for the $5 donation.
Thank you, Rabbit.
We really appreciate the support. It's actually 35% of people that are in prison for victimless crime. So.
Well, maybe people define. I mean, look, I know a lot of people say the drug dealers' victims are the people they sell to. So anybody can define victims as anything they want. I'm just saying that when two people don't consent to something and like somebody gets hurt, that they didn't want to get hurt by somebody, or they get robbed, or their property gets vandalized, or somebody commits arson on somebody, that would be a crime with a victim. But when two adults are consenting to something, and it's it's all good, then that's a victimless crime. So a lot of people say a lot of things about victims. They've changed what they see to be a victim a lot, but the reality is that 70% of people are in jail or prison for victimless crimes, or they're on probation or house arrest or work release.
1 second.
There's tons of people out there in the system. You're muted right now.
Yeah. So just give me a second here. 1 second.
Okay.
Yeah.
I just wanted to take the... Sorry?
Yeah, go ahead. Go ahead.
I just wanted to take a moment to point out that this gentleman that you see out the window here is Hoosier News Now. He is a very brave auditor. For anybody who hasn't seen it, you're going to want to go check out my last live stream. We cover a moment when he was being extremely brave and heroic, and you're going to want to check that out.
Yeah. Okay. So what does he do that's heroic?
Well, the heroic part is him going out there and getting back out into the field after he's been through a time of hardship whilst on an audit, and it takes a brave person to go do that. So,
okay, well, I'll look into it after the stream. Send me the link to the video.
We could probably get a timestamp up for you, and you can play it on here if you'd like to.
Sure, yeah. Work on that in the background. Yeah, I wanted to mention your point of like the victimless of the drug dealing. So for sure, selling weed, there's no victim. I 100% agree. But when you're the
why?
What?
Why is there no victim for selling weed?
Because the weed doesn't kill anybody. It's very simple. There's no victim. Weed doesn't harm anybody. It's just something to have fun. I don't smoke, but I respect if people want to smoke. I have no problem with that, and that's why they made it legal in some states. But what I wanted to say is the comparison is like a drug dealer that sells fentanyl and will kill people, but with his product, he has victims. Like his crime is causing people to die. So I understand that the drug addict is consenting to it, but not saying they're powerless, but they're addicted. They're weak. They have a hard time saying no. So I would argue that a fentanyl dealer, a crack dealer, causes victims. You disagree?
Well, and that's the thing, man. A lot of guys, they pay for women to do weird stuff. Like in Vegas, some dudes will pay for girls to choke them, right? Some girls have asked me to choke them whilst in sexual intercourse. Now, that hurts, right? I've been choked before. That shit hurts, right? And it's not good for you to get choked.
I'm not sure where you're going.
But people
with
consent to it, so it's okay.
I just got two quick questions, just for the record. So, as far as the 70% claim, you said, even though you disagree with the official statistics, you do acknowledge that perhaps some of those are victimless crimes, and that's what you're basing that 70% 70% of most people in jail are in jail for victimless crimes. Is that correct?
I'm not sure
that's
I
what he
understand
said.
the question.
That's what he said, yeah.
Well, let me ask it again. You said 70% of people in jail are there for victimless crimes. I asked for a citation.
And that's what I meant. If that's what you're asking, that is what I meant.
But you don't have a citation for that. Is that correct?
I don't get citations for 70% of people being in jail.
So what do you base... We're talking about numbers here. That's a statistic. What are you basing that statistic on? What evidence?
I guess I can look it up. I don't know.
Yeah, that's what he wants
haven't
you to
looked it
do,
up
to
for a
look
long
it up.
time, so.
Here, let me just read this. Thank you, Chuck,
If you're wanting
for
me
the
to
$5
cite an
donation.
Well, if you're going to make claims about numbers, so we got, in order to be able to move forward, otherwise we could just throw anything out there, like, the government does nothing wrong, and nobody ever gets shot by the police.
40% of police officers beat their wives.
Okay,
that wasn't the same question, but
victimless crime.
Yeah.
What percentage are in jail?
Okay, so we have a question from Chuck.
Yeah, let me read the super chat real quick. CH and 2 dots. The other people on the panel cannot be wrong if you do not let them finish. It can't happen. Yeah, but it's hard to. I understand what you're saying, Chuck, but it's hard to get everybody to tell their entire point, because or else we would be here till tomorrow. But
well, to be fair, Frauditor, he does a better job of raising his voice, and then he just throws out sort of crap. Like, for example, here's a great example of it. I'm asking him to look up for a statistic for a very specific point.
You did.
And he quickly wants to deflect. Well, 40% of cops beat their wives.
You are guilty of that.
Hoping that I'm going to take the bait,
Craig.
And then all of a sudden we're going to talk about that statistic, which is probably a lot easier statistic to find.
Yeah,
so,
Craig is you're sharing. I see it. Just give me a second, okay? Thank you, the rabbit, for the $5 donation.
And this you don't have to answer now, but I really want to know when and where have women asked you to choke them?
Okay, we'll get to that
in
after.
bed. In bed, I know you're probably not familiar with it, but they say something along the lines of "choke me, daddy." So I do it.
No, that's what I need.
I choke the hell out of him.
And you can't see the smile on my face.
Yeah, Nick, hold on.
In jest.
Yeah, Nick. So the rabbit, thank you for the $5 donation.
Thank you.
Can I answer the question?
Hold on.
No, I don't want to know what you're doing.
His views are sovereign citizen views with no basics in reality. Everything he says requires fact checking because you have to lie to fraud it. Thank you, the rabbit. Yes, answer, Craig, about the choking.
Yeah, so I understand that whoever it is that said that, I haven't read his name yet, but I understand that he may not have had the pleasure of experiencing this, but pretty much every one of my last 3 girlfriends has said something along the lines to me in bed of, "Please choke me, daddy. Please choke me harder, daddy." Now, I understand that it's hard for some people to wrap their head around, but that is what happened, and I mean it is verifiable information.
Supposedly, I wish my wife would come on camera. You have no idea how hard she's laughing in the back.
Yeah, I mean, I to be honest,
I gotta mute myself. Sorry.
Yeah, but Nick, to be honest, like the choking, it's I've heard that before.
No, I've heard it.
Yeah,
before.
but anyways, if we could share this tab here,
he doesn't get women. He doesn't get women that ask him to choke. That's what I'm saying.
Oh, okay, you're saying Craig can't pull. All right, no problem.
Yeah, that's what I'm saying.
Okay, that's another
nice
story.
Try though, Craig. Nice try.
Yeah. Okay, Sinful Josh.
Thanks, pal.
Try.
Yeah, I'm living in my house with my girlfriend and my fucking kid, but all right, yeah, I can't pull.
Thank you for the donation, Sinful Josh.
Thank you.
CH, you are wrong about Rule 2.17. So, all right.
Okay. All right. Well, I pretty much cited it word for word, verbatim. So, but that's fine. I've got the tab up that will.
Here it is. Here it is.
I'm going to consider this your citation. You have been cited.
Okay, so
I'm going to give you 30 days to respond. You can either plead guilty or plead no contest or innocent.
Give me the citation. You're just putting up words like, where's this from? Is this a news article?
Yeah, where's
look, I've gotten plenty of citations, but I don't think I've ever gotten one for this. So, but this is Counterpunch.
Can you put a link up or Frauditor Troll? Can you
I mean,
put a link
look, I assume it's based on their studies. I don't know, man. You want to prove me wrong? The onus is on you. But
no, no, that's not true. You made the citation. Okay. The onus is 100%.
All right, we run into this all the time with liberals.
There you
Let's
go.
move on.
See, he wants to move on because he can't answer the question. You pulled.
No, I just provided it to you, man.
No, you did not.
Provided it.
No, that's not true. That's not
all right.
a valid citation.
Let's just get on. Let's move on.
No. Frauditor, are you really going to let him control this conversation, or are you going to let?
I'm not letting him control. I don't mute people. I don't want to be known as the guy that mutes people.
I'm just holding back.
It's kind of what I do for a living, man. I'm pretty good at it.
Not really, actually.
I mean,
for one,
to be honest,
you came to the debate without any citations. When you got called out for a citation,
look, I got tons of citations, man. I just keep them in my glove box. You want me to go get them for me, or for you?
What is going on?
The citation for a counterpunch, which is not
your sources,
what I would say is a reputable source. When I say
citation, I just gave him the source. It's Counterpunch. I didn't write the article. Counterpunch wrote it. So if you want to ask me where I got it from, I got it from them. If you want to disprove them, go do your own research. I don't know how the hell to help you. Go do it. What do you expect me to do? Go and do some 20-year research study on this shit? Go figure it out yourself. Don't ask me to do work for you.
No, I do. If you're going to hang your head on that, you should at least know where the data comes from. Who was...
Okay. All right. Well, if you want to do that, then you do that in the future. Where is your 35% coming from? What studies have you done? Show me your citation.
I never claimed 35%. If you remember what I said initially, I actually don't know. I want to look at the citation.
All right. Well, then figure it out, and then you can get back with me, man. I'll let you on my channel for a debate, or Frauditor Troll can regulate it. But
if this is,
I would gladly host another debate between you two guys. You two have so much to talk about. You
No,
two-
no.
Yeah.
My point
And that's
is, I'm
fine,
not-
but right
at this
now we're
point-
focusing on this. I
No,
don't
we're
have
not.
time to do the
No, I'm
10-year
sorry.
study on it, so I'm just
Then
going
you
to
can't
trust
use it
what
as a
these people
citation.
have done.
Then you can't use it as a citation. You cannot
All
go out
right.
and cite facts. Which
That's
you don't
fine. If
understand.
it's not a
Yeah.
good enough citation for you,
Do you
don't use
retract
it.
your
That's fine.
statement that 70% of people in
Nope, not
jail-
going to retract anything.
Let's keep that for part 2. Like, guys, I think you guys
No,
should have
come
an
on, Frauditor.
amazing
You can't
debate.
let him. You can't let him get off on this one, because if he gets off on this one, then he gets off with every single one of them.
Well,
or
I
get
the
off all the
audience.
time, man.
Because the fact is, he makes a
If you
citation.
know he's wrong,
then-
if you know he's wrong, I'm not going to call him out. If you know he's wrong, our viewers can decide for themselves.
Well, and
if
I'm
they
not.
think
I'm
he's
actually
right
not
or
even. I'm not even trying to prove him wrong per se. I mean, the real
Yeah.
point of a debate is to show the audience where one is being a charlatan and just making stuff up and doesn't really know what the hell they're talking about. And the only way they can evaluate that is by have somebody walk them through these logical fallacies. One of them, I cite that 70% of people in prison or jail are there for victimless crimes. I ask for a citation. He looks at the citation from Counterpunch, but doesn't even cite what Counterpunch is, whether that's a valid citation or not. I mean, that's not
understand
what a
what you're
citation
saying.
is.
I
And then he
totally
turns
understand
around
what you're
and says, "Oh, the onus of proof is on me." No, I didn't make the claim.
No, I
didn't say
understand.
70%.
Let me say something. I understand what you're saying, because when I was doing, I was making I linked a post to some turtle website about Aselmo, and even though the information was true, people were saying, "Oh, well, your source is known to be bullshit." So I'm like, okay, well, I didn't do enough research, but it was true. But I
Which
understand the
goes back
source.
to my
The
initial
source matters.
point.
Regardless, I
My
think you
initial
guys should
point,
come
his
in.
argument-
Today is an interview, so I want to just finish interviewing Craig. But,
I
you
just
guys
want to
should
point
come
out
in
once
for a
again,
full.
because you didn't let me finish about falsifiability. You got to suspect a claim where no matter what you say, their claim cannot be falsified. There is no claim that anybody could make to this man which he can't falsify.
That
Just
just
like
means
did
I'm
we
really
land on
good,
the moon?
right?
There's my point. He thinks that's a really good argument. So yeah, that
Oh,
makes
I
you-
don't know. Look,
It
we've
does.
we've got Michael Trethaway on my chat that says 56% of statistics are made up. So I don't think either of us have really a, you know what I mean? Like honestly, if that's the,
I haven't made up
and
any
he's saying it,
statistics.
so it must be
I-
true.
I-
I read it on the
I haven't- I
internet.
haven't
So
made
can
up
we
any
just continue
statistics.
on with this
Yeah,
interview?
yeah, we're
Yeah,
gonna
exactly.
continue.
Let's read the super chat.
Yeah, Potluck, thank you for the 179 quid. Invite Paul Carroll. I'm not sure who Paul Carroll
Talk
is.
about a liberal snowflake, eh?
I thought you wanted to move in, and now you're throwing jabs at Dr. Meg.
Because that's his debate style. I get it. I use it well too.
Oh, you're right. That wasn't
The only-
fair. Let's keep
and
going.
part of
Yeah,
it
let's
was
keep
well
going.
there.
To be perfectly frank, the only
You're
reason
right.
I'm getting annoyed by him is not because of him. It's because he's not the one cutting me off. And I'm just going to leave it at that.
I already read that. Yeah, 1 second. 1 second. I'm scrolling down.
Maybe
So, yeah.
maybe George.
Okay, so Sinful Josh, $2. Thank you very much for the support.
Thank you.
Prove it.
Rule 2.17 B.
Yeah, you can read it.
Order
There you go.
required. Yeah, that's B. What's section A say, smart guy?
What does Section A say? Smart guy?
It says that no audio or video recording devices are allowed in the courtroom or the areas immediately adjacent thereto. And it says, unless court is in session or unless it is in recess between sessions. That is verbatim what it says.
Is that
And it's
specific
so
to this
convenient
state?
that people can
Which
leave
state?
out point A.
So which state? I'm just curious.
In Indiana. This is Rule
Indiana,
2.17, Supreme Court Judicial Code in Indiana.
See, that's how you do it.
Okay, so we don't have time to watch the whole thing, but I just want to make it clear, you guys have so much to talk about, and I would love to have both of you at another date where you can go more in depth into the actual debate. But let's carry on with the interview. I don't know if you'd be open to that, Craig.
I'm fine, man. I'm up to interview, debate, anybody. I believe in what I say.
Sounds
Okay,
good.
so we'll
So
go ahead and bring in.
yeah, we will right after this because this video was really interesting. So they were in another creepy dungeon here. Oh wait, no, it's this one. It wasn't a creepy dungeon, but look at this. Okay, hold
I
on.
just read the city ordinance. It doesn't say anything about this area, and if
Please leave.
I can get that for
Please
a
leave.
public records request. Yeah. Man, keep asking, brother. There's no law.
Why
Yes.
are you in here?
What do you want? Because I'm here investigating. The fact that and dude, keep it 6
Investigating what?
feet.
Back up.
Dude,
Back
I'm
up.
trying to intimidate.
Back out.
Work on me.
Back out. Dude, stop getting close to me, man. One, you're harassing, you're intimidating.
No, you're harassing.
You're harassing us.
We're here in a public
For the
building.
love of Sam Hill.
You go back to doing your job. All
No,
you guys
this
go
is
back to
my
doing your job.
This is my job.
Are you trying to
do.
push my shit out? You
No,
got that
I'm
on camera, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
Thanks.
You're harassing us.
We're here in a
For
public
the
building.
love of Sam Hill.
You go back to doing your job. All
No,
you guys
this
go
is
back to
my
doing your job.
job. This is my job.
Are you trying
do.
to push my shit out? You
No,
got
I'm
that on
trying
camera, right?
Yeah, I got it.
Yeah.
I got it.
Man, are you a kid? Didn't your mommy tell you to not touch?
Out.
Get
Out.
this on camera, bro.
Oh, I got it too.
Out the doors.
I got it
with
too,
your
buddy.
big fucking beer belly.
Walk of shame. Walk of shame.
Yeah, walk of
You don't
shame.
want
Walk of shame. Gotta call it when we see it.
Walk of shame!
The walk of shame, dude. You got dismissed. You did. Prove me wrong.
Where I come from, if normal people do that, it's called battery.
Yeah,
well,
But yeah, sure. No, I got
Let's-
dismissed. Yeah, I get
Let's
you.
be fair. You were the office. The building was closed. You sneaked in, and you were there arguing for what is it, 20 minutes at least, and you just wouldn't leave. So they had to do that. no?
Physically remove you.
Yeah, they had to physically.
No, to be
make-
fair, that public building was not closed.
it wasn't.
No.
Frauditor
If
Troll,
it was closed, I couldn't have gotten in.
I'm sorry. I need to apologize to you.
Why?
I forgot to join your channel. Sorry.
Oh,
You should have
It's all
warned me.
good.
You should
Thank
have
you.
hounded me.
no, it's
It
all
said,
good.
Join now. Join.
I don't e-bag. I don't force people to donate or become members. But let's welcome Nick Volt to the Troll family.
Nick
Woohoo!
Hello, my fellow
Thank
family
you.
members.
So, yeah, thank
Sorry,
you.
my Frauditor Troll, you haven't seen my hair yet. I got a haircut last weekend.
Yeah, I saw it.
Not
I
as
saw
glorious as my haircut.
A lot of people were asking you if it's a wig. Your
Yeah,
curlies.
it looked like
Is
a
it a
wig.
wig?
No.
That's all natural.
Oh no, that's the kind of hair. See, I don't get. My women don't ask me to choke them because I don't have hair like that.
Yeah,
That's
that's
what I
probably
need to
right.
do.
You get to
Yeah.
grow your hair, Nick. You gotta get a little.
I need hair like that,
press.
and then it would be like, "Oh, choke me, baby."
Yeah,
No,
Hey,
it's
I don't
daddy.
take shame.
It's
I don't take
daddy.
shame.
I don't get called baby.
yeah, but that's weird though. I
That
think
is
that's
weird. I don't know which one is
That
weirder.
is strange. That'd be a huge turnoff for me.
I don't know. I'm the daddy in this house, and
No,
That's what everyone
me too,
calls me,
but
right?
Me too, but it's weird. Anyways, that's a question for another time. Here's the link, guys, in the public chat. Anybody can hop in and ask Craig any questions. We're gonna keep it 5 minutes per person. So yeah, just try to get in there, get your questions. We'll try to do it like those political debates. Like, you know, you got 2 minutes question, 2 minutes here, 2 minutes there. So yeah, here's the link. I'm gonna spam it. And yeah, while we're there, I wanted to ask you. So if it's not too much to ask, so how much money are you making off YouTube so far? You're making a decent amount, right?
Like,
Me?
You never asked somebody
Yeah.
for a salary.
Craig, yeah.
I don't make like a set amount of money, man. As you know, it all depends on whether the people choose to watch my videos and whether the advertisers find it necessary to advertise on my channel. So
Yeah, but so far you have 2 million views. So I know you must be.
yeah, I have 2 millies. I can testify to that. But as far as the money that I get, and like I don't know, like most people get their salary rung up without without taxes. I'm getting mine rung up with taxes, so afterwards I really don't know. Honestly,
worries.
I've got no idea.
No
wait.
worries.
You said most of us don't pay taxes?
No, he's saying
No, most of y'all, everybody who works a factory job or gets a paycheck from an employer,
Yeah.
generally the employer withholds tax. It's the withholding tax.
Oh, okay. Really quick. What do you think about? Do you think YouTube pays their content creators fairly,
YouTube
I would
doesn't
say
pay
yes.
us. It's the
Yeah, I
advertisers.
agree.
or the advertisers?
agree.
I mean, do you think
Yeah.
they do?
Yeah,
Because I've
I'd
heard
say yes.
stories of YouTube content creators not getting paid by those advertisers, or at least that money coming through YouTube. I just want to know if you can offer some sort of recourse for them. Like, what do you think they should do if YouTube is not dispersing their funds properly?
Make videos that the advertisers want to advertise on. I don't know what else to tell them. I can't.
No, but I
force
mean, no.
advertisers
These
to
ones
make-
are. I mean, these are some of the more uncontroversial people, like where they do make the videos which get a lot of advertisements, but then YouTube basically pockets the funds for themselves or takes such a huge cut which is not even in the initial contract that they signed
Well,
up.
I
to
don't
be
know
the
about
creator.
that, Nick. Like, I've never heard about that. I
Yeah,
don't want to
and
talk
that's
shit
why
about
my
YouTube.
question-
No, I have a
I don't want to talk shit
cita-
about YouTube on my channel.
I have a citation
He's-
on.
he's got a
No,
citation.
I'm not taking.
That's
I'm
why
talking.
I
Yeah,
shit
but
on you.
keep that for another time, Nick. Okay, Hezekiah,
you
welcome
totally
to-
missed my point.
Yeah, I guess I missed it, but like you're saying, oh,
What
YouTube
would
are
somebody's
scamming
no,
some
no,
people.
no, no,
I
no,
don't
no.
wanna...
Okay, let me put it another way. What would be one's recourse if that were to happen hypothetically?
I don't know.
Doing your
The
job.
system
I don't know,
is
make
is
videos
so...
on other platforms. There's Facebook,
Yeah.
there's Instagram, there's something.
I know what I would
You
do.
can sell merchandise. You
I'd
can do
hire
a
a
whole lot
lawyer.
of stuff.
Yeah, but
Hire
the
a lawyer.
system
Okay,
works really
Hezekiah,
good.
come
The
in.
system works
What
really
is
good.
your
I can
question?
attest to it. So